How to rent your properties fast. That's today's topic, and let's dive into it. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode at Nova Rise. For those who are tuning in for the first time, this is your channel for real estate education. So today's episode will be all about how to get a competitive advantage and rent your properties fast. As some of you who have been already following me, you might have noticed a change of scenery again. So we're actually back into New York City. And what I wanted to talk about was actually my experience searching for that house that I stayed in Lake Harmony, Pennsylvania for 1 month. Now, what I'm going to do is to basically go into my tablet and show you the listing that I actually found on Airbnb. And Airbnb is not the only way to actually list your rentals. The reason why I decided to use Airbnb and share that with you is because the host of that Airbnb actually had beautiful pictures of his place, and I wanted to use that as an example to actually set the tone to show you how you can actually make that big differentiation between your property and your competitors. This is a strategy that you can actually use pretty much with any platform, whether you want to leverage Zillow or Trulia or StreetEasy for those who actually live in New York, or any other platform where you want to advertise your rental property. So without further ado, let's dive straight into my iPad. And as you can see here, this is the location where we actually stayed in Lake Harmony. And as you can see, the pictures are beautiful. They're actually a true depiction, a true representation of what the house literally looked like. The colors are really on point. There's enough lighting in the house. This is actually on the first floor. And as you can see, there's nothing about this living room that you can say, oh, it was fake. It looked exactly the same way as you go. So for that, you actually need to work on, let's say, your pictures in itself. Now, I know not a lot of us are great picture takers. We're not photographers. And I'm sure that a ton of you have actually experienced that scenario, and where you actually think a picture will come out beautiful. You stand right there with the beautiful landscape, and then when you take a picture of it, it comes out really dark, or maybe the colors are horrible. So in order to do this, you have two choices, right? You can either hire a photographer that's going to help you make these beautiful properties. Look at this fireplace. Everything is exactly the way it looked in the house when we walked in. I was actually not surprised at all. No shocks. Everything looked exactly like in the picture. But in order to capture a picture like this, it's very difficult, right? Like I mentioned, you will either need to hire a photographer, or you will need to learn how to take a good picture. Now, if you do have the budget to hire a photographer, that's great, go ahead. But I know sometimes we might not necessarily have that budget, because perhaps you had just bought that rental, you have just bought the property, you're still trying to recuperate from the closing costs and everything like that. And in order to fix that, it's a lot simpler than you think. All you got to do is just to take your iPhone or any Android that you have and try to take a picture and get the right coloring as much as you can. By right, I mean get a good, decent lighting, so that way you can fix the picture post editing, right? So once you have that done, let's say, for example, let me pull a picture right now in order to show you what I'm talking about. So we have this picture of the house from Carrington's house. That's the name of the host. And let's say, for example, this is your phone, right? All you got to do is take a picture, again, get the best lighting as you can, take it from one angle, try to go to another angle until you get a color that is decent. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be decent. And by decent, I mean not extremely dark, not extremely light. And then you're gonna come in, and everybody can actually do this from their phone. And all you gotta do is just to click on edit, and you're gonna come into whatever tools you have available. In the case of an iPad or an iPhone, you can actually fix it in the same icons right here. If you do have an Android, you also have similar tools that you can actually leverage in order to fix that. So the two things you really need to pay attention to in this color scheme is contrast and lighting, right? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna come down here to where it says contrast right here, right? So you have contrast, and all you gotta do is just to change it and try to add a little bit more color. So this was the original picture, and now I'm adding a little bit more color so that way it looks even more vivid. The colors are still the same. The house, based on what I remember, it looks exactly the same, but we're just simply enhancing the picture and helping it show its true potential, its true value. And then the next thing that you want it to focus on, like I said, one is contrast and the other one is the brightness. So if it was for me, I would leave the brightness as it is, but let's say I want to show you so that way you can see the difference. Let's just add a little bit more of light. Well, this is way too much. You see, you definitely don't want anything like that, or way too dark. Most of us, if we're not experts in taking pictures, it will typically come out as something like this. We definitely don't want that either, and we definitely don't want anything like this either. We want something right here in the middle, and let's say I want to add a little bit more brightness, or maybe a little bit more right here. So look at the difference right now. It's very mild, very simple, but look at how everything looks post-edition. It is a little brighter. It has more vibrance to it. The colors are much more alive versus the original version right here. And it's very mild, as you can see, but it just simply looks different. It just looks better. Not to say that the current pictures are not good, but I'm using this as an example. Let's say your picture came out too light or too dark. So you can definitely fix that by yourself, fix that on your own at the comfort of your home from your computer or from your phone or tablet. So now, back to Carrington's post, right? So we have these pictures. Again, they have to be a true representation of what you have to offer. But things don't have to be limited here, right? So the way I saw this is that, well, first, Carrington had his logo right here in every single picture that he had, because he has his own website. For this, you don't have to create your own website, but what we're gonna do, we're gonna go straight into his website so you can see the bit of enhancement that he actually added to his postings, and that's how you're gonna gain that competitive advantage. So first is the picture, second is the description, but what about the possibility of offering a virtual tour? And this is what I'm talking about. So this is his website, the Getaway Society. And as you can see, this is a very clean website. And like I said, you don't have to have a website on your own. If you choose to have one, that's awesome. But what I really want you to focus on is this, right? So here's the house that you see here. This is the Poconos house where we stay in Lake Harmony. As you can see, beautiful pictures and everything. And look at this. So this is what I want you to see, the main difference. He actually embedded the a virtual tour, and that's something that you can actually incorporate in your website as well, or in your posting, because now I've seen a lot of realtors do that for houses that they're trying to get on the market to sell. They're actually creating tours that are virtual, so that way people don't necessarily have to step out of their house and invest time either traveling, commuting to get there, or just simply by staying safe due to everything that's going on with COVID. But let's take a look at what he has here. Look at the 3D tour that he has. Amazing. Look at that. That of course will require you to use the software. You don't necessarily have to go this fancy, but this is what I wanted to show you. Look at everything he has incorporated here. All you got to do is just to simply tap into this, and it shows the feature of the house. You're literally walking all over this beautiful house. It's like you're actually in there. And look at this tour. It's like you're walking around and then checking the house by yourself. Look at this kitchen. You're staring at the kitchen. High quality pictures right here. This is awesome. It's like I'm back in that house once again. So let's come over here and let's take a look at this is one of the bathrooms, nice and clean. And then what you're gonna do, you're just simply gonna go around and take a look at, look, we're in one of the bedrooms right here. This is what this is where some of my family members stayed. And then I'm gonna come right back out here and then walk into this house. Well, no, not this house, this bedroom. And look, you can even look out the windows. And here is an entire tour that you can do all over. Let's check out the downstairs, right? We wanna go down to the first floor. So let's just go right into the first floor, down the stairs. And look at how beautiful this is. So this is somehow, I want to call it a game room / living room. This is where everybody sits together and watch TV. You have a beautiful pool table right here. You have a video console right here for classic videos. And then you come in here and you have one other bedroom. and then you come back out, and then you have another restroom, then another beautiful bedroom right here. And this closet right here is actually, can I open this over here? Well, it doesn't let me open it, but this was the laundry closet right here. This is where you will see some of the laundry machines, but I don't think that's relevant for this tour in itself, because more people are usually focused on the features that this house has to offer. And you can do exactly the same thing. You can do something that looks just as good. It doesn't have to be fancy. All you gotta do is just to take your phone or your camera and then just walk around the house, show the beautiful features that you have to offer in your rental, whether it's a house or an apartment, and just continue to give that tour. Carrington is definitely taking advantage of the technology, and look at that competitive advantage that gave him, that gave his company, because now people can envision. We're more visual people, right? So you can actually go in here, and this in fact was the bedroom where I stay with Anthony. And then when you come out here, that's the restroom right here, and then that's another bedroom right here. And look at this beautiful view that you get to see. You can actually look down, step right here, and look at the entire house from the third floor. And that's pretty much it. And you can do that with any property you have. He didn't do this just with the property in Lake Harmony. He actually did this with every single other house that he had in the market. Look at this one in Martha's Vineyard. Beautiful tour, right? So look at this kitchen. Look at this beautiful mound decoration. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Simply gorgeous. I have no other terms to describe that. So that could definitely be you. Again, all you got to do is just to simply have the capability to use your phone or a camera and record this. It doesn't have to be overly fancy, but a video will definitely help you enhance that posting and help the prospect envision how their life in there is going to be like. So hopefully this video was helpful for you. Carrington definitely used cutting edge technology here, but it doesn't have to be overly fancy. If you do have the resources to do that, that's awesome. But if not, a simple phone, a simple camera will do. So that's pretty much it for today's episode. Do not forget to check this episode right here. That's going to help you complement everything you just learned today. And without further ado, I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye-bye.